Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Ingrid, so thank you so much for joining me today. I've been prepping for 1 year now, as I mentioned previous videos, and no doubt that I started prepping in one of the toughest times. And so the question is really, if you factor that in, starting prepping in the toughest times, having low income, being a single parent, were my efforts in vain, or did I make a serious mark? And so really the question is, am I prepared after 1 year of prepping? And what I'm doing on this video, you guys, is just to take a look at looming disasters and the realities that they leave us afterwards, and then take my preps and just weigh them against those realities and see how I measure up for me and my kiddos. If you are a serious prepper, you honestly are aiming to be prepared for all of these disasters. And they are all different. And geographical disasters are just the ones that are happening within your area. And so for me, New Mexico here, we're more likely to have hail. We're more likely to have dust storms, droughts, heat waves. And so you have to factor those in first and then move on to other disasters. So there are regular natural disasters that are happening all over, plagues, storms, so that being ice storms, any winter storms, hurricanes, or any storms, so that just brings in floods and tornadoes. So those you need to be factoring them in. And other natural disasters like earthquakes, volcanoes, and fires are reality today. Literally, we see those happening all the time. And regular man-made disasters like wars or any kind of political instability, that is something to factor if you're a prepper. You want to aim to be prepared for any of these natural or any of these disasters, that being natural or man-made. The non-regular natural or non-regular man-made disasters are things like meteors, geomagnetic storms, or any solar disasters that may occur, and wars. And so they may seem far-fetched. To be honest with you, the reason why they highlighted these, because I'm not going to do that. It's very interesting on how you prepare for these, but even that, it's just costly. It's very expensive. I just cannot even fathom how can I start really moving around, getting prepared for this. So for me, the first three, I'm going to go ahead and do them. And like every prepper, we're just aiming to be prepared for these. And because of all these disasters, we know what can possibly happen. We actually don't prep for disasters themselves. We just prep for the possibilities that can happen when you are faced with these disasters. And these are the possibilities that I was talking about. Sheltering in place, power outage, during winter and during summer season. That's usually when a power outage is more detrimental. So we try by all means to make sure that we have we are prepared for this possibility to be out of power. Public water being contaminated or just running out altogether. Evacuations. There are 3 levels of evaluation I'm going to do on this one. And so as you can see there. And then the last one that I'm not going to evaluate my preps against is how fortified is my shelter, or really how fortified is my shelter in place or the bag-up shelter. And so do I have good security on that? Do I have the environment that's conducive to the well-being of me and my children? I've seen some preppers, thinking that for them to bug out, they can just go and dig a hole and live in the hole like mole rats. That is not possible for everyone, especially if you have children. You just don't want to put your children through that. Me, I'm okay with suffering, but I'm just not okay seeing other people suffer. And I'm just that kind of a person. So starting here with sheltering in place. Now, you guys, we know this is no longer a foreign concept. As a matter of fact, if you had asked me in about 5 years back and say, well, we can shelter in place, the government can literally, say, stay within your home and don't leave your home for a month, I will say, oh, that's impossible. Well, that is impossible. 2020 came and it gave us, most of us, a wake-up call. And so we just need to understand that this is so possible, and it's possible to shelter in place for more than a month now. And so please note that this does not include any off-grid scenarios, because we're going to be dealing with those separately. And so sheltering in place in 2021, we had plenty of electricity, we have plenty of water. Now again, FYI, just keep in mind that if you're going to have to shelter in place, it's not going to be the same probably as 2020, because it's just going to depend on the natural disaster that happened. And so this is where I'm weighing my preps against, really, as into how long can I shelter in place for. And it seems like I'm good for a month, very good for a month. And 3 months, I will be okay, but not really thriving as I will be in 1 month. In 6 months, I'll be crawling to the end of the 6 month. To that 6 month, I'll be just crawling to the end of it. Anything more than that, honestly, you guys, is a no-no for me. Now, keep in mind that I was basing this evaluation on what I have on my pantry, on what I have for food in my pantry, on what I have to clean and keep my environment clean, to keep me, my children clean, personal hygiene, and above all, just to take care of minor incidents. If I have a first aid kit here to take care of these things. So for me and my kiddos, this is good. If there's an additional person, sometimes friends and family somewhere out of nowhere, they just come over and exacerbate all those preps. And that is a possibility. So that 1 month will not look so good if that's the case. So my goal really is to making it to 6 months. 6 months, all good. I'll be happy with that. Now, to be honest with you, I'm still okay. I'm still happy with where I am because I know where I started. But I really, really need to do a lot more here, especially buying a freezer. And that can really up my game and help me with that food storage a lot more. And again, if I'm doing this next year, not next month, but next year, and we can see exactly how far I've gone, because I'm hoping I can do this every year. So this leads me to the next possibility, trying to get extra freezer. How are you going to power that if power outage? If you experience power outage during either winter or summer season. Now, power outage altogether is a possibility, and it's not fun to have no power, but it's not detrimental to have no power. It's only detrimental when there's an ice storm, when there is a heat wave. That is when it's detrimental. But other than that, we saw what happened in Texas earlier this year, crazy ice storm. They were not prepared for at all. And we see all these relentless heat waves. Honestly, they're just not going anywhere. And for me here, I'm weak. As you can see, I'm barely going to make it a day. For a lot of reasons here. In all honesty, you guys still need to invest a lot more on this. So you can see that I really need to invest a lot more here. I still have a long way to go. I do have a power outage kit that consists of a 290 watt hour portable power station. I do have a solar panel. It's 100 watt solar panel. And portable emergency lights. I even have a heater, fans, and cooler and stuff like that. But if you factor heat waves, which basically melt wires, which is a reason probably you're out of power, because heat wave came in and melt all the wires and cause the power to be out. It's pretty interesting how you're going to be recharging everything and cooling yourself at the same time, and knowing that, honestly, solar panels don't work very well in high temperatures. I factor all those things here. And even in winter, I'm still in trouble. I don't have, the portable heater that I have, it's just only good with the portable power storage that I have. If I use up all the power, which is not good, we all know that, but even if I do that, it's only good for 3 hours. After that, I'm in trouble. I do have a fireplace that I've never used, so it will be pretty interesting how we make it for winter. I do try to plan ahead, even though I don't have all the stuff that I need, but I want to be more prepared here than I am. I'm just not happy with where I am. And so going to the third possibility of being out of water, right? Running out of water or not being able to utilize the water that's coming out of your tap. So how long will I last? I'm good for 3 days. I'm okay for 7 days. But after that, honestly, nothing more than that. I don't want to have to go through more than 7 days. I can make it a little bit over 7 days, but I will definitely not make it a month. I will definitely not make it a month. I will not make it more than that at all. So, and again, I think I did talk about this on some of my videos, that I was trying to see exactly how I can up my game here on having a water supply. In the area I live in, there has been a looming drought, for the past 3 years. It's not as bad as California, but, we know that is a possibility of drought. We have good rain this year for the first time in like forever. So I don't know how that helped us much. But I do know that we are growing as a city. We continue to grow and grow and grow as we are still facing these looming disasters like drought. So I am working aggressively on this one because I would like to be able to know that I can be good for a month or more here without any issues and concerns. And so going to the last possibility, evacuation, if there is an announcement telling me get out of your home, you have 24 hours to get out of your home. Will I be able to do that? Absolutely. I think that's plenty of time to get out of your home, that 24 hours. Anything that's closer to a day or day is good enough. The moment you starting giving me an hour, and then, those anxiety levels goes up, not just for me, for my kids. I have to, try to calm them down. And that's going to be interesting. I think I'm okay. I do have a list of things that I give my children, what they will have to do and what they will have to take if that was a case. In that way, they don't, we don't go around in circles, screaming the sky is falling. You have a list, you know exactly where to go, what you need to take. My son, on the other hand, I have to be careful what I give him because he's not concerned about where things are. He doesn't care, really. So I have to be considering of that. I have to put that into consideration, the fact that he may not know where things are, right? So I have to give him a list of things so that I know that he knows where they are. And so an hour is okay, kinda. 5 minutes is really a no-no. We still have to work on that. I mean, we still have to work on an hour, really. But 5 minutes is absolutely a no-no. And we know it's possible. When these floods come, when these issues and these storms come, what do you call it? The tornadoes and all that stuff. You may have 5 minutes to be out of harm's way. And if you're not out in 5 minutes, you will be harmed. So it's very important that you have that. A second level of evaluation here is bag out bags, bag out items. I love the idea of bag out bags. I did start that. I was getting all these bag out bags for like $6. I'm not bag out bags, but bags, backpacks, so that I can use for bag out bags. And so I was excited. I was collecting and I was planning accordingly. But I had to dismantle those bag out bags. I haven't put them together again. I do have bag out items because I like the idea of having to know what to take for me and my children all together in one place. And so I do have those bag out items. I do pack them with everything that I need them to be in. But I'm just not in the right place here. You guys, as you can see, I'm still orange. I'm not green. I'm not red either. I'm just right there in between. I still need to be more organized. I still need to be more practical on them, to be honest with you. But I have plenty of things. I have plenty of stuff that I can basically use. So I'm really pretty good with the items themselves. It's just, I'm just not as organized and I'm just not as comfortable as I want to be here. And so getting to, not just getting to the bag out place, but having the bag out place or places is important. I do have bag out places. One is north, which is a vacant land, while is the other one is friends and family, and that is on the East Coast. Now, the problem with the East Coast is that I have to have fuel to get there, and that's concerning. That's why, yeah, I'm actually on the orange there as well. The one up north, it's a vacant land, no water, and no access to water, no access to anything. So I need to make sure that the bag out items that I'm carrying with me are good enough to last me the time frame that I will be there for. Especially as you can see, the third level there of evaluation, can you last 24 hours? Yes, I can. 3 days, I'm okay. 7 days, I'll be crawling to the end of the 7th day. A month or more is a no-no. Okay. When it comes to getting out, getting to the bag out place, those are the issues I have. Is just, do I have enough electricity? I'm not electricity, but do I have enough fuel to get there? Do I have a way of getting there? And I do have things that I just to start prepping for having to be in my vehicle for quite some time, or just as you can see here, just storing fuel altogether. I did start prepping for stuff like that. But as you can see, that big tank, it has no fuel in it. I wanted to put fuel in that, but I haven't done that. I'm just not there yet. But I'm not bad either that I haven't started. I just need to work things out here. I do have maps. I do have some ways of getting to a place, but it's just going to depend on that natural disaster. And I can last good enough days in that bag up place. And I like that. Just a month or more. I saw people in Louisiana having to relocate because it was not possible to go back home. Roads were eroded. There was no way of getting home. There was no electricity. There was no water. There was nothing really to go back to. And they were still really debating if they want to rebuild the whole thing or just, call it quit. And that was going to take time. So some people just decided, you know what, let's just go and relocate and get our kids to school somewhere else while we're still debating or while we're still evaluating that issue that we're having. So those are possibilities. Again, to some extent, the worst possibility will be for you to get out of the country, right? You need to have passports for you and your children, and you need to know exactly where would you go if you have to get out of the country. So you guys, setting proper expectation is a must when you are a prepper, right? It's very important that you do set proper expectations. In that way, you don't find yourself in a pickle. And so I do challenge everyone who calls themselves a prepper to do the same. Just evaluate your preps to see how prepared you are. It kind of helps with setting those expectations. And it actually helps you know that, prepping is not about just throwing a can of beans, a can of tomatoes, and call it prepping. There's more to it than that. And so I'm hoping that this will be helpful to most, and, to those who have been with me long enough, who've been my subscribers. I thank you guys for sticking with me long enough. I truly appreciate you. And new subscribers, you guys, welcome to my channel. It's nice to have you here. And so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But thank you so much for joining me, you guys, today. Stay tuned for the next video, and go ahead and get prepared. Okay, be prepared. That's what we need to say. Stay blessed, you guys.